COVID cases in Hong Kong hit another record with 118 new infections. Fines of up to $5,000 for not wearing a mask in public places. And China says it may not recognize BNO passports after Britain offers holders citizenship. Good evening, welcome to TVB News. For a second consecutive day, more than 100 COVID-19 cases have been added to the city's infection tally. Among the 118 cases reported, another single-day high, 111 are locally acquired infections. The death toll also went up to 15 after another patient died. Hong Kong recorded 7 more imported cases today involving arrivals from Japan, India, and the Philippines. Almost 16 times that number, 111 domestic cases continue to plague the city, particularly in eateries and offices. There are also 2 new cases emerging separately from Queen Elizabeth Hospital and St. Teresa's Hospital. Tsim Sha Tsui also remained tainted with COVID-19 as cases continued to bubble up from a shopping center in the area. At least 4 more people have fallen sick too after visiting Tao Hung restaurant in Mongkok. Citing safety concerns, all branches of the restaurant chain will be temporarily closed until August 5th, starting this Sunday. A 3rd staff member of the immigration department has tested positive for COVID-19 as well. Despite mutually working on the 14th floor of the immigration tower in Wan Chai, the trio is responsible for diverging lines of work and have not been in direct contact. Within the police force, an officer who works at the police headquarters is among the latest to come down with the novel coronavirus. That's in addition to a 36-year-old traffic cop who preliminarily tested positive on Wednesday evening. Last seen at his job on Monday, he had worn a face mask while on duty and possesses no recent travel history. Amid the current surge in coronavirus infections, the work-from-home arrangements for civil servants has been extended until August 2nd.
At this time point, I think we have to still be very cautious about the potential further increase in the outbreak. There's always some unpredictability in what will happen, so it's a whole package of things that the government has to pay attention to very closely.
For the next 2 weeks, wearing a face mask is compulsory at all indoor public places, as well as bus terminals and public transport interchanges. Sharon Tang reports.
This morning, most of the passengers at bus stops near the Cross Harbour Tunnel in Hong Kong complied with the mask mandate. Still, some chose to take in some fresh air. At the public transport interchange outside Admiralty MTR station, smokers pulled down their masks. This man said people are now more willing to wear masks than before, but still some are not serious about the practice and play with their masks. Food and Environmental Hygiene Department staff also inspected the Kowloon City Market today. Some were told to properly put on their masks. Visitors had to go through temperature checks. While most of the market goers put on their masks, a fish stall owner's mask kept slipping from his face. He received a warning from the inspectors. They told me to adjust my mask more often, but my hands are always dirty and wet. It's so much trouble for market workers like me, he said. Under the new regulation, apart from government staff, property management workers are also invited to help out with law enforcement. Those who fail to comply with the rule are liable to a maximum fine of $5,000, or they may have to pay a fixed penalty of $2,000. During a radio interview today, Health Chief Sophia Chan noted if the city's infection numbers remain high, authorities will roll out further measures to lower the number of people dining out. And that may include the shutting down of shopping malls. Sharon Tang, TVB News.
The Community Isolation Center at Lei Yu Moon Park in Holiday Village will start admitting recovering COVID-19 patients tomorrow. Pinki Wong reports.
Some 350 quarantine units at the isolation center in Taiwan will help ease the pressure on public hospitals during this 3rd wave of coronavirus infections.
The second-tier bed number nowadays in HA is around 500. I think this number of increase can relieve the pressures of the hospital. And I think because we need a specific criteria for the patients to go to the second tier ward. And for this third wave, most of the patients are elderly, and actually elderly, we suggest them to be stay in hospital rather than going to the community.
The first 30 eligible patients are expected to be transferred tomorrow. They include patients aged 50 or younger with a low viral load, free of symptoms, and can care for themselves. Children, pregnant women, or those on multiple medications will not be considered for transfer. There will be 6 doctors and 23 nurses deployed to the isolation facility during the initial stage. Nurses will have a daily video call with patients to check on their health. Those admitted will be provided with medical equipment. The isolation facility is near Pamela Yut Nedeso Eastern Hospital. Medical professionals at the hospital will provide support to patients at the isolation center when necessary. Pinki, Wong, TVB News.
A cat belonging to a COVID-19 patient has tested positive for the virus. The Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department took a sample from the American Shorthair after its owner contracted the coronavirus. It's now being kept at a facility at the Hong Kong port of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. It hasn't displayed any symptoms of the virus, and the government emphasized there is currently no evidence suggesting that animals play a role in the human transmission of the COVID-19 virus, and owners should not abandon their pets.